And welcome back to the Buddies Much podcast. I'm Chase.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sean.
And today is a little special day. We have our very first not live, but filmed,
Recorded,
and hopefully this will become a normal thing. We'll see. We're kind of just testing the waters, giving it the good old college try. So, yeah.
You get to see our faces now.
I'm sorry
Can't pick
we're
my nose
not
anymore.
as pretty as you thought we were going to be.
Yeah, we also had to get dressed up for it now.
Camera adds,
Isn't that a thing?
camera adds like 20 pounds, so.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Jinx, you both owe me a soda. We are talking about Hawkeye, the TV show, Disney Plus, or just Disney. I don't know what's so plus about it, but Hawkeye.
New show.
It's exclusive to the streaming service, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sure.
Here, we'll get this up here. We're not talking about the comic series, but
Ooh,
we'll have some eye candy for the viewers.
So
here.
official. I like it.
The new Hawkeye,
Starring
Kate
Bishop.
starring Haley Steinfeld as
Well,
Kate Bishop. Yeah, we've got one season out. It's only 6 episodes, which I thought was interesting.
Well, each episode is like an hour long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's plenty of content to be.
Yeah. But I guess we just jump right into the ratings, right? And then we'll take it from there.
I think that's the way we do it, so
Go ahead, Chase.
give it like a 5.5.
Ooh, 5.5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7.2.
7.
Holy cow.
0.2.
Did you watch the same show as us?
Oh, we.
I was going into the show thinking it was going to be a 5. It did a little bit better than I expected. Still a lot I didn't like, but I think a 7.0 or a 7.2 is probably where I'm going to put it.
I'm going to say 4. 4, 3. I'm teetering. We'll say 3.5. How about that?
3.5. Ooh.
I did not enjoy I didn't even watch the whole thing. I
wow.
I was like, Chase, I didn't watch it. Tell me about it. He was like, all right, this is what happens here. This is what happens here.
I was like fast forwarding, like, okay, this is annoying. All right, here we go. You know, this happens. Next. This is boring. Skip this whole episode.
Well, I guess we'll jump into it then.
Yeah.
Should we start with the dislikes?
Well,
or do you want
let's
to start with
the
the likes?
good, just
Okay.
because there's just a few good.
All right, go for it.
I'll start with my favorite part in the whole show was Kingpin ripping the door off the car. You can really see Kingpin's rage. I really loved that. Barely, but like, I love Kingpin. He was the Daredevil Kingpin as well.
Same actor from the Netflix Daredevil.
Yes.
He was okay in that show.
Yeah, he was okay in Daredevil.
But I don't think they did him justice in this one.
Yeah, so I liked that. I mean, that was very small compared to 6 hours. So it's just like a little snippet. That and also Hawkeye's wife, who is now pretty much confirmed, not confirmed, that she was
Mockingbird.
Was Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Haley Steinfeld. I have like a huge crush on her.
All right. Anything else you enjoyed about the show?
Okay. A little bit. I did like a little bit of I like the idea of the Ronin cleaning up Ronin's mess.
Okay.
Of Hawkeye cleaning up Ronin's mess. I didn't think they did it right at all.
Okay.
But I do like that whole concept of, I did these wrongs for 5 years. Like, I was this mass murderer. And then, now the past is coming back. Right? I like that kind of story. But yeah. What about you guys?
I mean, I say this about all the Marvel movies, production shows. It's fine costuming, it's fine acting, it's fine effects and stuff like that. But I mean, that stuff only carries you so far, especially when it comes to actual story elements and actual things that are like believable. I feel like they bend a lot of the rules of the world. And not in like a, oh, this happened because of superpowers kind of way. It's just like this object was here, but now it's here. You know what I mean? Kind of way. I think it was just people not really paying attention. And of course, I'm dipping into the dislikes, but I mean, just the same thing that's good about every Marvel movie in that it's got big budget, it's got good special effects. So.
Yeah, I agree. Most of my likes are about the same. I thought the casting was really well. I liked Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop. I think she played the role really well. This kind of like talented, spoiled, rich kid who has to kind of learn how to be a superhero in a way.
You know, that was another like. Now that you remind me.
What?
Because, like, they did, I think they set her up real well.
Yeah,
Like,
I think she had really good
She
character
doesn't have, like,
development.
Ray syndrome.
That they took
Yeah.
the time to, like, I guess they didn't show it on screen, but they showed a little montage of her, like, actually training to do this.
Yeah,
stuff.
and they showed the trophies, and they're like, listen, this is somebody that's actually quite talented. So again, I thought the casting was well. You know, Hawkeye is Hawkeye. Kingpin, I liked him in Daredevil. I didn't really like him in Disney, but we'll get into that later. But I thought, you know, overall casting was really good. The effects I thought were really cool. I thought this was going to be more boring than it was, but because it's Hawkeye, it's a bow and arrow. You can only go so far.
Yeah.
But no, they had a lot of cool trick arrows, and I think the effects on the trick arrows are really cool.
See,
Did you notice the USB arrow?
Yeah, that was pretty
That
funny.
was pretty cool.
Yeah,
So for me, that's kind of a like and a dislike because there was a lot of cool trick arrows and there was a lot of like special effects. You only get to see it like at the end. I guess also in
There's
like the
pretty
car
much
chase,
two
but like the
scenes, yeah.
car chase and then like the end, and then that's it.
well, no, you've got the bridge scene really early on. I kind of liked that, and then you've got it. I don't know. There is a lot of setup in the movie, but I don't know. I thought the trick arrows were cool. I think the effects were done very well. Again, Marvel, you're always going to get good effects.
Yeah.
Other than that, I do agree with you, Chase. I liked the over what they were going for. This whole like Hawkeye's past is coming back to haunt him. I thought that was really clever. And then he doesn't want to work with Kate Bishop, but he feels he has to because
Make sure
they're
she's
stuck.
safe.
They're
Yeah.
stuck. And I thought that was a cool element. I was afraid it was going to be like, oh, we're buddies now, but you didn't really get that vibe. So again, it was for just 6 episodes, season 1. It was all right. It wasn't. Those were my only real likes about it.
Okay.
Now let's bash it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I've been holding
Release
it
the
over.
dogs.
I'll start. Sometimes the whole like continuity errors just kind of like go out the windows for me. Sometimes I just like look way past them. But this show has so many of them.
Yeah.
Where like again the scene where Kingpin rips the door off the car and then turns around to like start fighting Kate, and 2 seconds later her mom runs into him with the car, but you don't see the car like turn around in the street.
The car doesn't move.
Yeah.
It's just like in the parking lot and then just slams into him. It's like, wait, she had to like back up, turn
Like,
around.
3-point turn and then speed up. Like
It's so dumb.
just little things like that, and she like jumps out the window and she has like the bola or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like tied around the thing and like drops all the way down. And I was like, "There's no way the hell that would work." And she only like wraps it once, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chase actually pointed this one out to me when they're like fighting on the elevator, or quote unquote fighting on the elevator, that like she goes and hits all the buttons, and then in the next shot like only like 2 of the buttons are hit, or like
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
That's
really funny.
So like a bunch of that, and I'm like left and right. I'm noticing this. I'm like, holy cow!
There was I had that same problem where there were very little things that bugged me. Like, again, this is super nitpicky, but do you remember when Hawkeye has to go back to the burnt apartment to try and find the Ronin suit? And he's like, oh, I'm going to be stealthy. And he's not stealthy. He walks straight up to a fire truck, puts on the coat, puts on the helmet, walks straight up into the thing. Like,
Exactly.
I was there's a whole crowd of people there.
Like this
How
highly
did
trained
no one-
shield agent just walks through a police line.
Like, I honestly would have just rathered you go to a back alley and scaled the building at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
And
it was just so, like, bro, like, what? You would have gotten caught so easy.
And did you ever think about the irony about how the suit didn't burn?
Oh.
And then he put it on the grill with lighter fluid. That's the suit's weakness, actually. It's just lighter fluid.
See, like, yeah, oh yeah. Like the suit survived the house fire totally fine. And then he's like, and just light it on fire on the barbecue. It's like, wait a minute, I thought it was fireproof. That's so dumb.
I don't know. There's besides that, those are little things.
Yeah.
The big thing that I just did not like with this whole show is just the random they're fighting and then just like random banter,
Yes.
then fighting.
Yes.
Yeah.
The dialogue and a lot of the fights were some of the fights were kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Like when they're fighting on the rooftop and what's her name? Black Widow.
Ivana.
Ivana, thank you.
Is it Yelena?
Elena.
Elena. Yeah.
Elena.
Yeah.
Elena
Yelena. I don't.
attaches a thing
Russian.
to Kate Bishop and she throws her over the edge, essentially like immobilizing her. Hawkeye cuts the line and says "run," and then she runs back up the building and joins the fight again. So super awkward.
Yeah.
What
I
what
don't
was
know.
that even about?
And then she stuns him on that rooftop and is just like, all right, I'll leave you there this time. It's like, what? You came here to kill him. Just kill him. He's there.
Yeah.
I think the power levels are very off, because like you'd think that like Hawkeye being
Who's an Avenger, by the way?
an Avenger, yeah, someone who can hold his own against someone like Ultron, like is having trouble
with street thugs.
and like
Yeah, I got that vibe.
Kate Bishop, of course, she gets her butt kicked a decent amount, which I did like, but other times like she can go toe to toe with Kingpin, like why?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
That was another thing. So about Hawkeye, right? So remember in Age of Ultron, Hawkeye is like, oh, there's a Scarlet Witch. She's hiding in the
yeah,
shack, and he's giving this whole speech of like, you step out that door, you're an Avenger,
yeah.
and like very leader.
Yeah.
And then with Kate, it's like complete 180, and it's just like, I got my own business to do. Like, get out of my way.
Yeah, he has that scene where he's like, I'm a ghost. I'm not really meant to stand out. I'm not a role model. I'm just a killer. He's kind of in
that
his
was a bit
feels.
after his Ronin phase.
That
though.
is true.
That's why he's kind of hating on
I
himself a
guess
little
you're right.
bit.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But
Anyway,
anyway,
those are my biggest gripes.
How about the LARPers?
I like. Okay.
Go ahead. I think we have the same opinion.
I've been talking a bit, but I liked that they just like introduced them and just like boom. I think they should have just kept the scene where he got the suit back
and then stop it.
and then
Yeah.
no more LARPers.
That's
Yeah.
what I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're having these.
They dragged it way too far.
They're bringing these citizens into. Oh yeah. So in the final scene, it's like, oh man, like we're not super trained for this. These are policemen and firefighters, by the way, trying to control the crowd. They're like, we're not trained for this. It's time, and they whip on their gear, and then they're like, okay, this way. And they're like, whoa, what? Sorry, you weren't trained for that? You had to go take the time to go put your suit on, which I can tell you from experience takes a minute. It takes a minute to get suited up.
It's like it's D1 round or the D4 rounds. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
man.
But that's
I mean,
funny.
it was like instantly.
They took that too. I actually liked the scene where he had to go to the LARPing thing and get the suit back.
It was cute.
It was kind of funny because it's him as an Avenger putting up with just BS. It's like, oh, I really have to put up with this. But they really should have just stopped it at that. It was overkill.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Kingpin?
I like Kingpin,
Okay, so
but
I like the actor. I think
Asterisk.
he was a good Kingpin, especially if you've watched Daredevil on Netflix. He does a good job in that
Yeah.
show, I thought. I mean, Daredevil, it's hit and miss, but I think Kingpin was one of the highlights of that show. And because it was a Netflix show, I mean, you were saying this earlier, that they were able to sort of get into the nitty-gritty of it and show that
The darker themes.
that he's a scary person. He's
Yeah.
not just like a businessman. He's like a gangster, and he kills people. And you really don't get to see that side of him in this.
Not at all.
and I didn't really see the square side of him, kind of like in Spider-Verse.
Where his head's just like in the middle of his belly.
So I guess people were complaining that of the costuming, and so when they made Hawkeye, they put Kingpin in his comic book costuming. That is
with
his-
the white
with
outfit.
the white outfit with the Hawaiian shirt, and
Yeah, I hated the fedora though. It was like way too big on his head.
yeah.
But I
And-
like the white suit.
And I read a thing where they said, listen, we did this to appease comic book fans, which, cool. But I still feel like he was just so subpar. I feel like when you have Kingpin, the henchmen need to be scared of him. Like
Oh, yeah.
everyone needs to be scared because he's so unpredictable. Like mob bosses, they're manipulative. They might, when Maya asked for a couple days off, he could be like, yeah, I could take a couple days off, or no, you know what I mean? You just never know what's going to happen. I feel like he was just so blah to me.
He was very not present, especially with. Kingpin is. They call him that for a reason. He's top of his game. Like he runs New York. You know what I mean? Yeah. And several other places. Like,
and even when he's having that conversation with Eleanor, how they kind of teamed up because her husband died and he was in debt and blah blah blah. She runs the security detail. I feel like that scene was so lackluster. Because she's coming to him saying, "I'm out. I'm done."
Yeah.
And you're, if you've ever watched a mob movie, you're never done.
Nope. Exactly.
And he just was like,
just
no, please don't. And she just left. That was it. And he's like, okay, I'll hunt her later. But I feel like he could have gotten angrier. He could have gotten more threatening. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's Disney.
That's Disney. Yeah.
Oh, and at the end where they did him really dirty, just Maya comes up and is like, pew. No more Kingpin.
Hey, he didn't die on screen.
You keep that hope up. You hang on to that, pal.
What did you guys think of the Tracksuit Mafia?
Oh, on the one hand, just mindless minions.
Yeah.
So it's like, but on the other, I feel like they really tried to drive it home. And it's like, we get it. They're funny. Huh?
Also, I think the whole Yelena thing was super rushed.
Yeah, there was way too much of Elena. And there was so much banter with her and Kate Bishop. Like, it just dragged on and on, especially when Kate goes to her old apartment that caught fire, and she's there, and she's like, oh, I made mac and cheese. That scene lasted forever. It was so long, and it was so...
Yeah.
I was like, yo, let's wrap this up.
Also, is there a reason why... Kate is trained, but is there a reason she can hang tough with a Black Widow?
Well, my whole thing was...
I don't think so.
I think Yelena was holding her punches because she does
Because she likes Kate.
Yeah, I think she saw it more like a competition because, they would be like, oh, good throw, good grab, stuff like that, because she was just on a mission to kill Hawkeye, and she kind of found a friend. But
see, like,
I see where you're coming from. Like, she's a Black Widow, a trained assassin.
There should have been a point where she was like, all right, we're not playing anymore. Bam, like...
Yeah. Yeah. What do you guys think? Maybe you can answer this. What did you think of Maya? Is she in the comics?
I have no idea.
I've never heard of her. I did not know this character. I thought it was interesting. She kind of had a lot going on.
Maybe look at... They called her Little Dragon a couple of times. Maybe look that up.
I know in the show she's deaf,
yeah,
which kind of fits the Hawkeye theme loosely.
And they did finally address that, but I swear Hawkeye is full deaf. But in this one, they call him hard of hearing. Or something
he's
like
hard
that.
of hearing, and he... she makes a reference that he'd be better off without it, and he's like, nah, and then he fixes the thing anyway.
And so they dip their toe into that market, and everyone's okay. We gave you your deaf superhero. Are you happy now? It's like, come on.
And she was missing a leg, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She used that a lot to deflect swords.
Yeah,
I thought that was it.
Block with the leg.
Win. But
I wanted to circle back to the minions. Speaking of the minions, you notice especially
Echo. I think it's the...
Oh, is she Echo?
No, there's no way.
No way.
Yeah, she's Echo.
Because
they're making an Echo TV show also. That's going to be solely
Is
based
that
on
right?
her. I'm pretty sure.
I thought Echo had superpowers.
So did I.
Are you sure?
The adoptive daughter of Kingpin.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I guess that is Echo.
Really?
Crazy, huh? They just changed things up.
Okay. But Echo does have I'm not crazy. Echo does have superpowers, right?
Let me see.
Only when she does Phoenix BS.
Oh, does she fuse with Phoenix Force?
Olympic level athlete, concert level pianist, strong martial arts, highly acrobat, gifted ballerina, photographer. Reflects as Phoenix, telepathy, flight, strength, cosmic fire regenerate. Okay, I don't know.
So she fuses with Phoenix at
Something.
some point. But
Anyway, we're getting off track.
okay, well,
There's
there-
Echo for you.
There's your hero. I am so confused. See, but again, this is sort of the reason why I think they're kind of dipping into this D-lister pool of superheroes, because no one knows what's going on with those guys. You know, like I didn't know much about Echo at all.
I just knew it was a deaf superhero. I also thought she had powers. Now, do you think? I guess we're kind of getting into the prediction section of this.
Wait, I did want to circle back to the main.
He's got
yes.
way more. Okay,
I wanted to
keep
circle
going.
back to the minions.
yeah.
So especially in that end fight scene where they're just throwing wave after wave of them, you notice that none of them have guns.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if they do,
Very convenient,
Like
wasn't
baseball
it?
bats.
yeah.
So like,
and they don't shoot a lot of the time.
because I'm like enjoying the scene where they're shooting all the trick arrows and it's people are flying. It's kind of cool. But then I was like, wait a minute, these guys don't have guns. Like, this is the mafia. What are you talking about?
They brought their bats to an arrow fight.
I was like, there's no reason this should work except that
make
they're
it
not
work,
using
yeah.
guns. Like,
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty plot armory.
But I mean, that's Hawkeye, I guess.
So, predictions. Do you think we'll get a season 2, and does it need a season 2? And if so, what will be in it?
I don't think it needs a season 2.
Okay.
I think they should have just
If they wanted to do
done
this,
it all.
they should have just done a movie. Like 6 hours of content. I think they did find themselves struggling to put stuff on screen because there are some parts that are very drawn out or just didn't even need to be there. Like,
Well, that's the thing. I
forgot
think
dislike.
really what they should have done is if they want to they want to introduce new characters, right?
yeah,
They should have introduced Kate Bishop, had the story just about her,
That's yeah.
and then maybe Hawkeye drops in once, cameos, whatever.
I don't know about that.
I think season 1 did a good job of like their synergy, but I think season 2, if there is, and there probably will be, I would like to see it focus more on Kate Bishop and have Hawkeye in the background.
Yeah.
Kind of
okay.
what you're saying. So in season 2,
I'm just saying what they should have done.
yeah. So again,
Well, Hawkeye's very involved in Kate's story. Like,
right, but it would be nice to see like him be like, listen, go out on your own and do this, come back to me, or maybe they, team up. Kind of like how Spider-Man and Tony Stark have that relationship.
okay,
I don't know. Because I think in the comics she's more of a detective, but
Detective Kate Bishop.
Anyway.
that sounds pretty good.
I love all the things. She's like, oh, they pull out the whiteboard, and she's like, now we got to get the cops off my, butt, and yada, yada, yada. And then there's nothing else about it.
and then they never address it again.
also another dislike. I just randomly thought of this. Do you remember when Hawkeye goes to the Avenger Tower and there's the plaque, and it shows all the names of the Avengers, and it has Natasha Romanoff, and he starts talking to the plaque in public. Like, it's just so odd. Like, dude, people can hear you. People are next to you. He's like, I'm sorry, Natasha. I was a bad person. I did bad things. But I'm like, there are people around you. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
why didn't he go to like a
He was being
grave or
stealthy
something?
about it.
Not
that-
really.
He's shield agent. He's trained to blend in. He's not advertising.
I mean, he put his hood up. That's as stealthy as it was. Anyway,
That's all he needs.
I'm sure
well,
get
you know, Avengers incognito. They just put a baseball cap on,
Yeah.
invisible.
I think it will get a season 2. I don't know where they're gonna go with it. I mean, Kingpin's
Yeah,
quote unquote dead.
Kingpin's host. You know what might be interesting? Well, we'll see. They seem to be bringing in more and more of like the Netflix stuff. So we might see some Luke Cage. We might see Jessica Jones. We might see
Yeah.
Iron Fist.
That's true.
I mean, especially with all the stuff. We saw a little bit of Daredevil and Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah, they're hitting Daredevil pretty hard.
so. I mean, maybe that's the next step in all
Maybe
of
some
this.
Elektra.
They're starting to,
Oh,
to
yeah.
consolidate all of their properties. Didn't Elektra die in Daredevil?
I don't remember.
Nah,
There's a new comic series that they're out. I
Yeah,
can't
who
remember.
knows? But
It'll probably get a season 2. Who knows? I don't know.
just wait 2 years.
right after season 2 of Loki and season
WandaVision.
6 of WandaVision, who knows?
Yeah, they're really pumping them out.
Or do you think that they're just going to do a one-off of all these things?
Yeah, I think so.
They're just going to do a one-off of WandaVision. Just leave it as it is,
I thought
and
you were
then
saying
just do
something
a
else.
one-off of Hawkeye and just do a one-off of
I don't
whoever.
think so.
It wouldn't surprise me. You know, they do a season or two of Loki, cash in, and then they do a season later on. We might do a Shang-Chi for a season, and I don't know. So, would you guys recommend this to people? Should they watch it? Should they not watch it?
I'd say not worth your time, guys.
Not at all.
Not worth your time.
Should
I'd
they-
say
Watch something else. Watch something better.
It's worth your time if that's what you want to do.
Nice.
Very neutral. I like
I'm not
it.
going to tell you what to
Very
do. but
neutral.
I probably won't watch the second. No, I will watch the second season.
I'm
Haley's time,
I'm
so.
contractually obligated to watch the second season.
I'm gonna say, you know what? If you're a Marvel fan and you have nothing else better to do, it's only 6 episodes. Give it a try. But I'm not your mom, so you don't like it, that's fine. But it was okay. That's all I'm gonna say. It was just meh. It was okay.
Meh.
So,
It was less than okay. I don't like it.
you know what? Tell us what you guys think. Put it in the comments,
Please.
and
Fight me.
we will see you guys next time. See ya.
Goodbye.